Thank you for choosing Blade for your restoration business. In this video, we'll cover the integration with QuickBooks Online. Let's get started. First, it's important to note that enabling the QuickBooks Online integration in Blade will not create a QuickBooks Online subscription. A separate subscription to QuickBooks Online is required. Second, each company listed in Blade under your account must have its own connection to a single QuickBooks Online account. You can't connect multiple Blade companies to a single QuickBooks Online account. Third, after connecting to QuickBooks Online for the first time, every new project added to Blade will automatically sync with QuickBooks Online. Projects that existed in Blade prior to the first connection with QuickBooks Online can be connected individually, as described later on in this video. Lastly, disconnecting a company in Blade from QuickBooks Online will terminate all sync processes. No new sync charges will be incurred after terminating the connection. Okay, let's log into Blade and get started. Navigate to the Account page within Account Settings to see the status of connections to QuickBooks. Note that just one company in this account has been connected to QuickBooks Online. Click the blue-colored Manage button to quickly disconnect a company from QuickBooks Online. You cannot connect companies to QuickBooks using this console. To connect a company to QuickBooks, or configure a connection, or to disconnect a company from QuickBooks, navigate to the Companies page within Account Settings. If your account has added multiple companies, select the desired company. Click the green-colored Connect to QuickBooks button and follow the connection prompts to establish a connection between Blade and your desired QuickBooks Online account. After connecting, the caption on the green color button will change to Disconnect QuickBooks. After connecting, you'll be prompted to link each disaster restoration job type, called Trades, with your preferred QuickBooks Online income account. Income accounts already established in the connected QuickBooks account will be displayed on screen in Blade to facilitate this matching process. For example, when you perform water damage mitigation jobs for the selected company, all invoices for those jobs will be coded in QuickBooks to the income account you link to the water damage mitigation trade. Let's connect water damage mitigation to the Water Damage Services income account. Let's link the hazardous material remediation trade to an income account called Services. Now let's link the fire and smoke restoration jobs to the same account. You get the idea. All changes are saved automatically. Come back to this page anytime to make changes to these settings as needed. Learn more about trades and job names on the General Inputs help page. Now that we've connected a company to QuickBooks, let's explore how the integration works. Let's add a new project in Blade with a client name that's easy to remember. Let's call the client Abraham Lincoln. Let's first take a quick look in our QuickBooks demo account to verify that a customer named Abraham Lincoln does not yet exist in QuickBooks. Okay, the new project now exists in Blade. The customer now also exists in QuickBooks. Now let's update the customer name in QuickBooks to see how that change is automatically reflected in Blade. Opening the Client panel refreshes Blade client data. Note that the client name has changed to match the name in QuickBooks. We could do the same thing in Blade and watch the customer name update in QuickBooks. Blade keeps QuickBooks customer data in sync with Blade client data. When a new project is created in Blade, a new invoice is automatically created at the same time. That invoice is also created in QuickBooks. I'll add a few blank lines to the invoice in Blade, which will be automatically added to the QuickBooks invoice. Open or refresh the QuickBooks invoice to see that all changes in Blade have also been made in QuickBooks. Because Blade adds lines to QuickBooks using sales tax rates applied to all or parts of the total amount of each line, Blade overrides the sales tax calculations in QuickBooks. For that reason, Blade only updates QuickBooks invoices, keeping them in sync with Blade. Blade does not update Blade invoices with changes made to the QuickBooks invoice. Blade also helps you manage invoice aging. Notice that the invoice was created on October 21st in our example, but the invoice has not yet been sent to the carrier or client. We'll record that the invoice was sent to the carrier on October 22nd. We'll refresh the invoice in QuickBooks. The invoice date is now October 22nd. The date of first invoice is now in sync between Blade and QuickBooks. Blade keeps every invoice in sync. Blade allows the user to add multiple invoices per job. Each will be kept in sync in QuickBooks. I'll demo that by adding a second invoice to Blade for the Abe Lincoln job. Refresh or open the transaction list for this customer in QuickBooks to see that the second invoice has been added. So far, we've been switching back and forth between Blade and QuickBooks to see data in each system. Blade provides an easier way to see real-time QuickBooks data directly within Blade. Simply click the QuickBooks button along the top of the client panel to see real-time QuickBooks data. For our Abe Lincoln job, we see that QuickBooks contains this customer data, as well as the 2 unpaid invoices we automatically created in Blade. We'll use this tool as well as take a look inside QuickBooks as we move ahead. Okay, let's review how Blade keeps payment data in sync between Blade and QuickBooks. Payments in Blade will automatically be added to the correct invoice in QuickBooks. All changes and updates made to payment information in Blade will be made automatically to payment data in QuickBooks Online. In our Abe Lincoln example, I'll reflect that a payment has been made to the contractor by the carrier in the amount due of $42.70. Notice that Blade displays the banking information and the payment types listed in the linked QuickBooks account. In this example, I'll say the payment was made to the checking account with a check. Let's look in the QuickBooks portal to see how that payment record updated the payment status of the QuickBooks invoice. Note that QuickBooks now contains payment details. Blade updated QuickBooks with the payment information, including the selected bank account and payment method. This invoice is shown as paid in full in both Blade and QuickBooks. Let's look inside QuickBooks to verify these changes. The invoice is paid in full. Let's refresh the screen to see full payment details. The invoice is paid in full, and the payment transaction has been recorded. Now, let's receive a payment in QuickBooks for the other invoice. Blade will automatically update the payment register in Blade to reflect this transaction. The second invoice is now paid in full. Let's look in Blade. Check it out. The transaction in QuickBooks was recorded automatically in Blade, keeping both systems in sync, saving you time and money. Once again, Blade's QuickBooks portal tool saves you the time of navigating back and forth between QuickBooks and Blade to verify QuickBooks data. Let's open the portal to view real-time QuickBooks data. We see the QuickBooks customer data and both invoices with all associated payment data. These invoices are paid in full. It's worth noting, in these examples, we made a single full payment. Blade easily tracks multiple partial payments made against each invoice. All right, let's shift gears and talk about a few other QuickBooks integration features in Blade. Projects created in Blade before enabling QuickBooks integration can be manually synced to QuickBooks. The Busybody project has not been synced with QuickBooks. One way to identify projects that have not been synced is to click on the QuickBooks button. Follow the instruction in the note to sync the project with QuickBooks. Open the invoice. Then click on the Invoice Actions dropdown. Then click Sync Invoice with QuickBooks. Blade attempts to find customers in QuickBooks with similar names and contact information. Blade presents the most similar options for selection. If no similar options are found, Blade can create the customer in QuickBooks with your approval. Let's click on the QuickBooks button to see that a connection has been made. Okay, one more feature. If your QuickBooks account has enabled online payments, and if you have entered an email address for the connected client, Blade allows you to copy a payment link to the clipboard. We see this message because our test account has not enabled online payments. Otherwise, the link would be copied to the clipboard, allowing you to paste it in emails or other correspondence to a client, giving them a fast and secure way to pay the invoice. All right, that's a good overview of the QuickBooks integration. Explore other training modules in the Support Center to get the most from Blade, the software that helps you maximize profit and quickly turn your hard work into cash.